You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day. Wanted to just talk for a couple of quick minutes about the 80-20 principle. And I have talked about this before on previous podcast episodes. So forgive me if you guys are binging through some of the library, 750, whatever podcasts deep. And you're like, well, Fullerton, you just talked about this 2 minutes ago on episode 264. Hey, forgive me. I apologize. Who knows when and where I did talk about it a previous time. But if you guys have not heard of the 80-20 principle, I think it's the Pareto principle. Mr. Pareto back in 1692 when he was sailing the ocean blue. Just kidding. I have no idea who Mr. Pareto is. I have no idea who the dude is or even what the whole principle was, other than the 20% of your whatever is going to dictate and turn into the 80% of whatever. Meaning 20% of your customers are going to bring in 80% of the revenue. 20% of your effort is going to turn into 80% of your results. Now, the sucky part about business is that you never know what 20% is going to yield the 80%, right? You can get good and you can start becoming educated and dial it in. And that's why we always take data and try to, spin everything to figure out how to be the most effective and efficient. And that's every business section and leadership section of every Barnes & Noble bookstore with every book that's ever been wrote, whatever. But at the end of the day, that 20% does yield 80% of the results. And, you can talk about nutrition, you can talk about work, you can talk about finances, you can talk about clients and customers and pretty much everything, right? Like turns into the 80-20 principle. Well, just to keep a short and sweet podcast episode today talking about snow is I wanted to talk about how we've drastically 80-20'd our business year over year, right? I mean, we've been the company that went from 120 accounts, all residential and trailer park lawns and little this, little that, and some, medium residentials, medium value, like high value, medium value residentials to dropping down to probably a company low of 75, 80 accounts, building that back up to about 25 to 30 commercial sites, very like mid and above tier commercial sites and residential mid and above tier residential sites, which have all been great as well. But that doesn't come with a lot of pruning, right? And one thing I heard somebody say recently was pruning is not a bad word. Pruning is if you prune correctly, it spurs new growth. And usually you're deadheading or cutting off things that just are going to, suck from the bloom, whatever, right, of the thing that it's getting cut off of, right? So we prune and cut back, especially this time of year. And in a short story analogy here, it's the same thing with our business. We're trying to prune and cut back and get rid of the dead weights of things that don't produce the exact result we're looking for or the majority of the result we're looking for, okay? So let me just kind of jump into today's podcast topic, the 80-20 principle, a little bit more here. Before I do, I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. I've been out in the field all day. It's been very hot, very humid, very dry here. So I'm going to get a good little sip of water, and then I'm going to come back to you guys in a quick second. But I want to talk about how we're doing half the amount of work for the same amount of money. And not only that, it gives us the bandwidth to take on more clients at a better price, to backfill, to grow our business, and to really get the kind of clientele that we want and deserve. Okay, so let me do this really quick. I'm going to get a good old sip of water. I'm going to come on back, and then we're going to, right now, we're going to hear from today's show sponsors announcements. Let's check it out.
Attention lawn care pros. You're invited to the biggest event of the year, Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2024. November 2nd in Novi, Michigan. Whether you're just starting or scaling up, this is the place to be. Join us for an action-packed day with expert sessions on cash flow management, business automation, client retention, marketing, and more. We've lined up an incredible roster of speakers to help you elevate your business, including Sam Rankin,
Pat Murray,
Ken Deemer,
Brian Fullerton,
Sam Gimbel,
Mark Bradley,
and Jeff Joyner. You'll network with like-minded pros, enjoy exciting giveaways, and get ready to take your business to new heights. Don't miss our Friday night mixer for some fun and camaraderie before we get down to business.
Can't wait to have all of you guys up here in Novi, Michigan, for real. And if you guys have never been, I want to just challenge you to come on out, at least check it out for the first time, at least one time. Should have a couple hundred people there for sure, between 200 and 350 people. Always usually pulls a pretty good crowd. Come work on yourself, come work on your business, get around the heat and involved in a fun environment that's going to challenge you to grow and give you the answers that you need.
I'm telling you, don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to level up and connect with industry leaders. See you in Novi this November. There's a special link in the show description.
Thank you to our sponsors, Xmark, Boss, Short Track, and LMN.
Entrepreneur Academy Live 2024.
All right, guys, well, let's hop back on into it here. Wanted to continue on the conversation, the discussion about the 80-20 principle. First off, I did a podcast on Wednesday talking about the snow calculator and the commercial contracts, residential snowplow contracts. You guys have blown that thing up. So thank you. I never want to go too far and not say thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for supporting what we're doing here. Entrepreneur Academy is the biggest anchor that we could have to continue to keep bringing you guys this podcast. I mean, I just don't know any other way to say it. So before I gloss over that, before we run through this, I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, truly hope those contracts and resources help you guys with growing a better business, taking your professionalism to the next level, feeling confident with the proposals and the quotes that you guys are sending off to your customers. So if you guys have not checked those out at launchpreneuracademy.com/store, check them all out there. Thank you. Just wanted to say a big mention because they are selling like hotcakes this time of year. And you know what? It costs a couple $1,000 a month to keep the podcast show going per month. Like, no joke. People are like, oh, you make millions off of that. I'm like, you know how much it cost me to run this thing? So thank you for the love and the support there. Relating back to the 80-20 principle, this two examples I just want to give. One about commercial, one about residential, right? And again, 20% of your clients are going to be responsible for 80% of the revenue. 20% of your effort in is going to give you 80% of your result out. Now, again, you can even 80-20 the 80-20, but let's just keep it really simple today. Residential, and you guys have heard me talk about this, so forgive me if it's a little repeated, but last year we had a lot of clients at the $750 for snow services, unlimited pushes up to 45 inches, no salt, but that did include sidewalks. We had a bunch of residentials at $750, a bunch of clients that were like the new next wave. They're at like $9.25, $950s, whatever it was. And then our newest retail price was $1250s for like a brand new sign up, like fixed our pricing, $1250 for the season. Well, due to some new legislation and whatnot, or for slip and fall in Michigan over the summer, we've and per some suggestions from some of the folks that I get some coaching with, they said to include ice melt in your walks and drives. I'm not saying this is for everybody. I'm not getting into it today. I would just say like do some research, make your own opinion. But for me, just in terms of that, plus also just having a better quality product, meaning wet pavement down to the pavement, down to dry pavement, like that's the goal. And snow plows like do a pretty good job, but you know, when you're back dragging on a residential driveway, no matter what, there's always a quarter inch, half inch of film. Hopefully it burns off, but if you leave that and then it happens to be a week of like minus 10 degrees, that turns into hard pack and just not good. It's not a good product, right? So everybody's always like, if you guys do residential snow, you've probably heard this before. My neighbor is down to the pavement, wet pavement. I'm the one with the plow service and I'm the one with the snowy driveway. I'm like, yeah, but yours has been plowed out 3 times in like 24 hours. They did it once at the end. They don't quantify that. They just look at the final finish. And my final answer is always like, hey, if we actually did ice melt or salt or scraped with shovels, we would get it down to the pavement. It just doesn't work like that. We can always throw it on ice melt if you're interested. No, I don't want to pay for that. Oh, okay. No big deal. Well, this year we are going to include ice melt. It is now $14.99 for seasonal prepay. That includes up to 45 inches. So that'll be 10 to 15 visits. And even if we allocated 10 to 15 bags of ice melt, which it takes about a half bag, but we just budget a bag, $12.50 cost. I put it down for $35 a bag, but let's just say 15 bags at $10 a bag. That's $150. So my previous price of $12.50 plus $150 for my bags of ice melt plus some extra labor, we're at $14.99. That's where we're at. And so I want to make room for customers that want that level of service, that quality of product. I want to do, just like in anything in life, I want to make more and do less. Now, it doesn't mean do less. It just means find as much work that I can do where I can make more and then work my guts out at the more rate. Some people like mishear that part, right? Like, oh, I want to make more and do less. No. I don't want to do less for the sake of doing less. I want to make more for the sake of do more so I can make more so I can do more. Does that make sense? Like, I want to continuously elevate my pay grade just like you guys are. And that's how you do it. You have to keep replacing the top and prune the bottom. Well, that's how you do it. That's this 80-20 principle. So just a quick reference point, like our residential business, which went from 40 people to 26 to, it was like 40 a couple seasons ago. Then it was like 32. Then it was like 26. And then I remember last year we had like 18 or 19 sites. This year I've already sent renewals for the previous 19. We would have had 5 or 6 dip out, 6 or 7 renew. We'll definitely lock down about 8 or 9 of those. So we're going to half. So instead of 80-20, we're 50-50, right? But half of those folks are, yes, we'd like to renew. Now, if you can't tell, most of those, based on the pricing I just gave you, are 25 to 50% more money or 100% more money, right? If it was $750, now it's $1,500, it's 100% more money. And we've had a little bit of pushback, a little bit of customer service there saying, hey, no, totally understand. Some legislation's changed. We're going to do ice melt now, better product. Yes, more money, but also more exclusive for you, better service times, better, cleaner product. You're going to have wet pavement now instead of that filmy snow on the ground, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no problem, honey. Whatever it is, go for it. And those are the folks you're looking for, right? As we all grow our business, we all realize, like, you get the people that are like, well, the other guy wanted, was going to do it for 40, and I know your price is 55, but if you can meet me at 45, then I'll meet halfway. No. Like, I don't want to deal with that for the rest of my life, and neither do you guys. And I'm quickly, as much as I can, fastly, as quick as possible, trying to get away from all those kind of conversations, right? I want to go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. And that's what the 80-20 principle is all about. I want to find the people that want to work with me. They're not going to complain about price. It doesn't mean they're ballers. It doesn't mean they're billionaires. It just means that they have enough disposable income where they're going to build a relationship with me, not based on price, but based on quality, right? And by the way, when you start serving your customers based on quality, you only have to explain price once. If you start basing your business on price, you're going to have to explain your quality forever. Maybe hit 30-second back on that. You can replay that. Okay, so let's fast forward. Back forward 30 seconds, right? So the 80-20 principle, we're going to do less with more, and we're going to do more with less. And that doesn't mean do less. It just means get more so you can make more and do more. Okay. So to go full circle, we lost half of our residential route, but it's okay because we're doing half the amount of work for the same amount, if not more money, and delivering a better quality product. Well, let's flip the script let's go to the other side of the train tracks to commercial, and then we'll kind of button this thing up. But we're in the exact same thing. There's all these different sites, and I'm bidding around town. We have this sweet spot where I'm looking for these $10,000 to $30,000 medium-sized commercial industrial businesses. They can be strip malls, machine shops. It doesn't really matter. But what I'm focusing on are those $20,000, $30,000 sweet spots. Usually a 10 to 15 grand lawn account, a 10 to 15 grand snow account, right? And what that allows me to run is a good 20 to 25% margin. That allows me to keep super tight route density. That allows me to have quick cash flow, because most of those sites pay pretty quick, net 30, net 45, net 60. And they're good full service accounts. And usually it keeps our travel down as well, windshield time down, because we're parked at these sites for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours versus running around with our hair on fire like our residential route, which is totally fine. We still have that. I still love that. Nothing wrong with that. But just like anybody, you want to keep your crews planted and do as big a sites as possible, right? It's just common sense. Well, originally, we were taking on new commercial sites, excited to grow, but I did realize, again, to 80-20 my business, we would have these little tiny sites, like $1,500 machine shops, $3,000 machine shops. And again, like what's big today is small tomorrow. What I would have killed for 2 years ago, I throw away today, just like you guys. Well, through this whole process, I've realized that last year we were spread thin, doing these little tiny machine shops, driving around town for little like $95 pushes, and doing 3 of those to make a $245 an hour rate. Exposure, slipping, sliding, snow, red lights, cars, traffic. God forbid it's snowing during the day when it's rush hour and people are still going out to get their Olive Garden breadsticks, right? And I just realized not every site needs to be for us, right? Like we need to 80-20 our business. So we got rid of about, I'd say a good 3, 4, 5 out of our 16, 18, 20 sites. And we are now backfilling with bigger sites that are in this middle sweet spot. that are full service. They get not only the snow plowing, they get the sidewalk shoveling. Not only they get the sidewalk shoveling and the snow plowing, they get the ice melt and the bulk salt. So now I can go do a site in an hour for $245 for a base scrape on 1.5 to 3 inches. And we can also put down a ton of salt, $240 per ton applied. And I can knock out the sidewalks for, $25 to $45 for a base sidewalk shovel, and $35 times 2 bags of ice melt, let's say that's needed on a couple hundred feet of sidewalk. I can now, knock that bad boy out and make what? 245 and 240 is 485 plus 35. It's 510 plus or minus. Little this, little that. We're running a $500 per man hour rate, knocking out a 1 acre commercial site. That's likely on either a per push or a flat rate seasonal. But let's say it's a per push. That's $510, $530 worth of revenue in an hour and 15, hour and 25 minutes worth of production. Like, that's good numbers versus me and my guys driving around for $95 for a plow only site and taking on a crap ton of extra liability for slip and fall because nobody shoveled the front doors, or they're going to do it in-house. Nobody ice melted the front, or they're going to do it in-house. Or nobody did bulk salt application because the owner doesn't like tracking salt inside the business. No, the owner's cheap. He's an owner. He wants to make more profit. I'm all about that life. But it's really expensive? More than $240 per ton applied? $1 million slip and fall lawsuit. Okay, so when you guys are selling this stuff, you have to advise. If you're a professional, you need to advise and say, hey, you guys can do whatever you want to do. $5,000 for your season for salt. Yep, that's a lot of money. I'm with you. But you know what's more expensive? A slip and fall for $1 million, and your rate's going through the roof as well. You're following next decade until your premiums come back down. And if you just, laissez-faire, gloss over that, sign the papers, nope, we opt out. 2 things. 1, you better have a separate salt waiver. Use Chat GPT, do whatever you want to do. I've got one that I made with Chat, nothing crazy. But number 2, you better upsell that guy and say, I would really highly suggest you get slip and fall. Right? People are looking for a quick buck in this economy. They have been for a long time. And you ain't going to catch me with my pants around my ankles. I'll tell you that. Not in this economy, not in this environment, not ever. Because I'm not going to be exposed or have that kind of risk. Okay. More ways than one. All right. So advise, to upsell, educate. Well, the last guy did it for $9,000. You guys are at 11.5. What's the difference? We actually have attention to detail and we care. That's it. We carry full insurance. We have a $2 million, $3 million policy, commercial auto policy, and liability insurance policy. What's the other guy have? $300 to $600K, which is fine when you're doing residential work. It doesn't work when you're doing commercial sites, right? Like, educate, talk, explain. And that's when Corey Ballard says, Matt Bowman and Corey and all the best sales guys in the world are getting together. They're building relationships. They're educating. They're having banter back and forth. It's not just a carte blanche, Hail Mary, throw a quote over there. It's, no, what are you guys looking for? Hey, here's who we are. Who are you? And get to build that relationship, get to build that rapport, and actually have a conversation and partnership. All right. So I say all that just to say, if you're like, man, we have no room to grow on a route, residential or commercial, lawn or snow, look at the clients that are the slow payers, the headaches, the ones that always need the hand holding, the ones that don't have the rate where they need it to be, the ones that are opting out of services. You got lawn, but they don't get snow. Get rid of them. If they got snow and no lawn, maybe get rid of them. If they got 5 out of 7 services for lawn and you're looking to get 7 out of 7 services, that's where you could prune, right? Continuously prune, right? We're looking for full service lawn, full service snow. That's a bread and butter, like high end $25,000 to $30,000 account. Not $1 million account. It's not some FedEx shipping, receiving center. That's $250,000, $500,000 account. I get it. Some of you guys got some big accounts. That's great. Right. But we got to make sure we can keep and have room for those as they come on in. But if we're constantly serving these just weak sauce accounts, right, we have to keep in mind, like, what's a good quality account and what isn't. And so that's where the 80-20 principle comes into play. Okay. As I look at my route list, every spring, we're pruning off and deadheading anything that doesn't fit our current and future portfolio. And every fall, winter, we're doing the exact same thing. Pruning and deadheading anything that doesn't fit our portfolio. And our portfolio has constantly changed. And that's why it's okay to prune our route list and to prove our clientele. That's okay. Nobody's bad. Nobody's wrong. Nobody's evil. Nobody did anything bad or wrong or evil. It's just things change. Business changes, right? If people can drop me, guess what? I can drop them. All right. So that's what I got for you guys on today's podcast episode. Short and sweet, right? 18 minutes. I'm fired up, coming at you, just yelling. I'm fired up. I'm excited about growth. We're in the hunt. I'm putting this thing together. I'm doing the best I can to grow and win. I want to grow and win with you guys. We've got some big shoes to fill and some big things we want to accomplish next year. And we are laying the groundwork now. We are laying the foundation now to be able to do that and so much more into 2025 and beyond. This is where it starts. All right. So get your snow contracts, launchpreneuracademy.com. Go into the store section. There's a little tab. You can check out all of our documents, all of our resources, postcards, contracts, snow and ice management log. Make sure you guys are filling those out per site, all of your site conditions. Don't sleep on that. If you guys want to check out the snow pricing matrix and calculator, that's now available. Check that out as well. Appreciate the support. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys today. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. If you guys have not dropped a rating or review or nothing lately, scroll down, hit 5 stars, would you? Super appreciate that. Love you guys. And that's all I got for you on today's episode. Fill out those contracts over the weekend. Let's get them back to everybody here on Monday. Appreciate you guys. And we will catch up with you all here on the next one.
Winter is fast approaching, and if there's one thing lawn care pros know, preparation is key. Whether you're handling commercial or residential services, securing your snowplow contracts now is crucial. And here's the best part. Our contracts have just been updated. Locking in your contracts now stabilizes your winter income, letting you plan and allocate resources with confidence. Get immediate access to the Snowplow Contracts Bundle training program today at launchpreneuracademy.com. Our updated structured contracts show that you're serious about delivering top-notch service. Whether it's a commercial property or a residential driveway, you're giving clients the peace of mind they deserve. And of course, stay ahead of the competition. With flexible contract options, per push or seasonal prepay, you'll be the go-to provider in your area. Serving large businesses or individual homeowners, we've got you covered. If you're ready to elevate your winter services, head over to Launchpreneur Academy and secure your updated snowplowing contracts now. And yes, they include free lifetime updates. Don't wait for the first snowflake. Get started today and make this your most profitable winter yet. Visit launchpreneuracademy.com and we've provided a link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.
Here's a recent episode of the Branded Bull podcast featuring Brian and Adam Fullerton. Make sure to subscribe today.
This is the Branded Bull Podcast, a show dedicated to helping take your business to the next level with winning marketing and branding tips and strategies built for today's competitive world. Ready for your business to make its mark and stand out from the competition? Let's get into it.
Hey guys, Adam Fullerton here with the Branded Bull Podcast. Another episode all about marketing and branding and tactics and different things that you can use and implement in your own small business to help it look awesome and grow. And on this episode, we've got in the studio with me, Brian Fullerton, my brother. We're going to ask him about his website and what he does. So Brian's lawn maintenance over here in the Wixom, Michigan area. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing good. It's been a great day. There's a lot of great stuff going on. The weather's been beautiful. My guys are out there as we speak, doing the lawns, and before you know it, we're going to be doing snow, and it's never a dull moment. We just kind of roll in from season to season. You know what I mean? So
just stringing off of those days in a row, and you figure out where you're going to be in a few years, right?
I hope, man. It's I always say there's 2 seasons, October to March and then March to October. It's and people are like, hey, you want to go get a beer or go get some wings? I'm like, yeah, maybe in that 2-week transition in November.
Send them over to me. I'll eat them in the car.
Yeah, basically, I'm like, or the 2-week transition in March. Other than that, I'm working, bro. Let's go.
That's funny. So, Brian, on this episode, let's talk about your website and specifically, what has it done for your business, right? You didn't have one before, and then you reached out to us. You said, guys, I love what you're doing. Sign me up. I want to grow the business. I'm trying to get to the next level or whatever it might be. What has that journey been for you, and how has it helped your business grow?
Well, it's been tremendously life transformational, whatever adjectives you want to use. Yes, excited, okay? One thing I'll correct it is we did have a website a while back, but it wasn't serving the purpose that we needed to. And I'll get into that for just a quick second. But I wanted to, and thank you for the opportunity to share our quote unquote testimony on this, because we've been with you guys since the beginning. When Branded Bull launched a couple of years ago, you did a soft launch, a soft rollout. I mean, everybody who's ever made a product or service or sold somebody something has said, hey, friends and family, you want to check out what I'm putting together. And I have a lawn landscape company. I've got 4 full-time guys, 2 to 3 part-time kids, running about $500,000, going to $1 million business, small lawn landscape company, your local guy in town that's cutting your mom and dad's grass, right? That whole deal. Well, that's us. And over the years, my first 10, 12 years in business, not the most illustrious or successful, just a neighborhood kid pushing a mower, cutting grass, and a decent sized little company, right? Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've really decided to grow. We're really trying to grow. We're really trying to get out there. And that's really the catalyst to why I was looking and open-minded to looking at my branding, my marketing, and wanting a new website. Well, a couple things happened in tandem, right? You had done the soft rollout and said, hey, I'm starting this company called Branded Bull, and I'm very passionate about marketing and branding. You and your co-founder, Lauren, have 20, 30 years of experience doing this and many different backgrounds and professions. I mean, you've ran major marketing departments and divisions for national billion-dollar companies. Like, dude, you know what you're doing. And I always hope folks know that. Where's your credibility coming from on this? You've done this for other folks in corporate America for 10 years before you ever ventured out on your own thing. And I think the proof is in the pudding with the product that you and Lauren are putting out. Well, when I saw you roll this out, I went, wait, you made this? Like, this is what you're doing? This is what you want to do? You want to launch a company helping people with marketing, branding, and SEO? And you said, yeah, like I'm really passionate about this. I'm looking to get into self-employment. I want to start my own business. This is what my future is. And I said, I'll buy that. I said, I want to buy that. And you, being the younger brother, said, well, yeah, dude, I'll hook you up. I'll make you one. Let me, I'll do a test on you and you can tell me what you think. I said, no. To me, the friends and family discount means you pay retail. And I'm always a big stickler on that. Your uncle wants it for $20 off or 20% off. But if you really support a small family business, pay the freaking retail rate, bro. Let's go. So I said, I want to buy one. I want to cut your teeth with me and my industry. I don't know if you did a lot of green industry folks at that time. We were probably one of your first, couple, if you will, in landscaping. And I said, make me one. I got a couple great guys out there that have websites that I would love to model after, because our branding is changing, our marketing is changing, and I want some outbound marketing now. I want a website to get the kind of leads that I want. Before, I had like one of those Angie List type websites, and the leads, you had like a listing page and a little product suite, but it was still public, and you get like weirdos calling you, and they want like the one-time cut for $20, and it just wasn't doing what I thought it was for a website. And I'm sure I like probably made it on my own a little bit too. So I'm sure there's an element of the DIY that didn't really perform. Go figure. But when I saw what you guys were putting together, I said, not only do I like the aesthetic, not only do I like the imagery, not only do I love what you're putting together, it's slick, it's clean, it's simple, a fair price point. Here's the testimony of the success that we've had since then. Not only do we have a great business card now for our website and an out front, hey, look at us, that I can now be proud of, which was, half of the battle. Now we've got something that's actually communicating who we are, what we're getting into, what we can offer to our customer. Again, tandem, story here. Like, we wanted to grow and we needed a web presence to help us grow. We need new customers. We want to change our customer portfolio and who we're attracting in the marketplace. And so these things kind of just lucked out hand in hand. I did not tell you, hey, Adam, if you start making websites, you're going to get rich. It wasn't anything like that. You've been very heavily, a part of the green industry. You guys have made a couple hundred websites for green industry folks. I didn't say, hey, there's a hole in the marketplace. This is where you should position yourself. Nothing like that. But I did say, hey, if this is what you're building, there's a hole in the marketplace and you can help. And here's the key word, help a lot of folks out there. And so since then, not only does the website finally convey who I always knew we were all along, but the results speak for themselves too with our marketing, our branding, and our SEO, thanks to you guys, because and I can't give you guys exact numbers. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I'll tell you what, my business is a very heavy, spring and summer business. And then we get another little second wind in fall, winter. And I share my stats publicly on Instagram and our website and how it's performing, because I just think it's cool and nuanced. And I'm trying to help my friends in the industry grow in my little niche. But I think we had something like 87 leads in whatever it was, April, another 75 in May, another 65 in June. We're up to 27 or 28 now in July. Like, if I didn't have that website to capture another 200 plus leads, how much money am I leaving on the table? So for me to invest a couple $1,000 to get a website built or a couple $100 for some SEO, money well invested. I use the keyword there, invested, not money well spent, money invested, because one landscape job not only pays for my website, 2 landscape jobs were in the black, 3, 4, and 5 are profit, right? Moving forward from, being profitable. And the rest, they say, is history. So I couldn't be more happy. I know there's a little bit of, hey, like we're brothers and, we're doing this podcast together, but I'm a paying customer for everything that you've done for us. There's no trading on anything. You haven't given me anything for free. I'll never do that to you. I'm proud of what you and Lauren built. And I'm really, really proud of the product that you guys have built for us. It's completely revolutionized our business.
That's awesome. It's good to hear. And you're not the only story that we have from others that have the same feelings and sentiment. And that's what we're here for, guys. So when you listen to this podcast, again, check us out at brandedbull.com, see our work, but ultimately listen to these episodes, go to the website. You can always sign up for the newsletter. Our goal here is to just do the job and help the business grow and give you as much information and value as humanly possible. So, I don't need to drag this episode on any longer. We appreciate the kind words. Lauren and I truly do. And anybody listening, if you do need help, if you're, a home improvement company, plumber, lawn care, landscaping, doesn't matter. Reach out to us, ask us questions, and let's get you in the queue and help you grow the business. So with that said, guys, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Branded Bull Podcast. And of course, we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Branded Bull Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving you expert advice and actionable ideas so that your business can make its mark and stand out from the competition. Like what you heard in today's show? Visit brandedbull.com to see how we can help you achieve your marketing and branding goals. Also, please consider leaving a 5-star review. And again, thanks for listening.